The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. Every day we are faced with a question. What will I aim towards today? Will I aim towards heaven or towards hell? Towards light or towards darkness? Which way will I tilt the scale? So many of us move throughout life unconsciously. We follow the same routines, experience the same thought patterns, and religiously return to the same old vices. We trudge along, never fully recognizing the power that we have and the choice that's been given to us. Whether deliberately or not, we're all moving towards something. If only we were to stop and ask ourselves, what am I moving towards? For years, I felt frustrated and disappointed with my life and myself. I kept getting stuck in the same patterns of behavior, the same loops that I just couldn't seem to break out of this construct of who I was convinced that I was. Me with all my faults and flaws and vices and bad habits. I could feel my potential on the other side of this lesser version of myself. I could feel the possibility of who I could become, but it was always just out of reach. My life and the physical world around me did not reflect that great intangible potential that I felt within. I think the trouble is that we get so caught up in what exists physically in front of us, in the manifestation of our inadequacies, right? Like when the laundry starts to pile up, when you can't seem to close that business deal, when you're constantly fighting with your significant other, or when you're driving through the same garbage fast food drive-thru every day, or reaching for the bottle or the Instagram feed. We get stuck in these default settings and feelings. We become so inculcated in these operating patterns, in what has become normal for us, that it's hard to even consider another way, to know where to start to change or what to even aim towards. Most of us have at least a vague feeling or an idea of what we want, and if not, we at least recognize the aspects of ourselves and our lives that could be better. And we desire to become better, not just for ourselves, but for the people that we care about. We know that we could be a bit more disciplined, a bit more organized, a bit more focused, patient, stronger, more motivated. It doesn't take much to start tipping the scale towards greatness. I believe it's in one detail at a time. It's in the way we fold our laundry, our consistency in washing the dishes or our car. The life we live is centered in the details, and the extra effort that you put into doing something can truly make all the difference. If we were to do everything with intention, with care, if we were to put even just 1% more effort into everything that we did, imagine the compounding effect that would have. It seems so simple, and yet, when inspiration fades and a new day with the opportunity for change is presented to us, we can start to question ourselves. How can I possibly change my life and myself when I can barely even get up in the morning? If it's any consolation, you wouldn't be the first to ask. It's an age-old question, one we've been asking since the first millennia. In Meditations, a series of his personal writings, Stoic philosopher and a Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "In the morning when you rise unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising to do the work of a human being. Why then am I dissatisfied if I'm going to do the things for which I exist and for which I was brought into the world? Or have I been made for this, to lie under the blankets and keep myself warm? But this is more pleasant. Do you exist then to take your pleasure and not at all for action and exertion? Do you not see the little plants, the little birds, the ants, the spiders, the bees working together to put in order their separate parts of the universe?" This idea of transformation is something I've wrestled with and explored at length. At the start of my quest to figure out how I can get my life together and start working towards greatness, I read everything I could get my hands on, ranging from behavioral psychology to spirituality to philosophy and biographies, to listening to podcasts, TED Talks, and interviews of some of the most successful people in the world. And I found one common denominator. There was one common thread that linked all experiences in composition, and it was that they were all seekers. Every one of those people made a pivotal choice. They took one step in one moment and found the will to start searching. I believe that this is the turning point, the necessary precursor to the journey into the unknown, into self-discovery. It's the initiatory stage of the hero's journey. It's where those of us who start. When we're kids, we wear potential on our sleeves. We feel the vast, expansive limitlessness of life. We're curious. We dream big and love the adventure. What happened between then and where we find ourselves now? How do we regain that childlike curiosity and open-mindedness and meet it with courage and commitment? As I started to explore this idea of transformation, my focal question was, how do I live my best life? So many of us hear this phrase all the time, but what does it really mean? Does it mean acquiring material success? Is it the house, the husband, and the white picket fence, the golden retriever in the backyard and the Mercedes in the driveway? What does it mean to become someone truly great? Well, for one, I've learned that greatness cannot be bought. There's no miracle pill you can take, there's no switch that you can flip and boom, your life has transformed. From what I've seen, greatness is built. But then again, so is mediocrity. So truly, it's not a matter of if we're building, but what we're building that's the key. Every day, we are given two choices. One, to continue building the life that we already have, or two, deciding to build anew. We are the architects of our own lives. We piece ourselves together through our actions, our thoughts, our beliefs, and our choices. If you don't like the structure you've built, perhaps it's time to create something new. To do that, however, requires a complete remodeling. We have to be all in, knock all the old bricks out of place, and start from scratch. And so it's this iterative process of discovering, dismantling, and rediscovering who we've been and who we are becoming. We've all been influenced and affected by conditioning, skewed value systems, and expectations from the world and others. And constant exposure to this conditioning can weather us and cause us to stray further and further away from that limitless potential that we felt as kids. We start to box ourselves in and constrict ourselves to fit into our limited paradigm. And when it's time to rediscover who we are and who we can be, it can be daunting. And you wonder, where do I even start? You start from scratch. Some people wake up to an alarm. Others wake up to a calling. Eric Thomas, PhD. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what would I do if I could do anything in the world? Start small. What would bring you joy? What could you do every day in your life now that would make things even just a little bit better? What service could you bring to others? How could you better the lives of the people around you? Try writing it down. Make a list of all the possibilities for your life and take your time with it. You won't get it out all at once. But maybe it starts with just opening yourself up enough to ask, to wonder, to invite meaning to visit you unexpectedly. Maybe it starts with just making your bed in the morning, or going for a walk every day, or saying something kind to your neighbor, or your coworker, or the coffee shop barista. I know you have these big goals, but I promise you, if you decide to take one step every day, if you commit to changing the little things and tending to the small problems that are right in front of you, facing the stuff that seems unimportant and trivial, you'll soon find yourself and your life transformed. The life we live is centered in the details. Self-discovery is really just discovering purpose. What will your purpose be? What is calling you and beckoning you forth? What does heaven on earth look like to you? How can you embody that? Allow purpose to find you and take you for a ride into the unknown. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks, the door will be opened.